She is a Hollywood superstar standing in the spotlight, while he is a travel bookstore owner living a quiet, ordinary life. They were two parallel lines never meant to cross, yet, thanks to a chance encounter, they fell helplessly in love. If you are feeling lost in love right now, unable to see what true romance looks like, or if you are healing from a broken heart, trapped in the shadows of the past, this story will show you how moving love can be when it defies status and distance, and with the gentlest touch, it will smooth out the wrinkles in your heart. Today, we bring you the movie Notting Hill. In the afternoon sun of London's Notting Hill, William's travel bookstore is a sanctuary filled with the scent of old books. Much like his life, it's so quiet he can count the footsteps of passers-by outside. Recently divorced, he squeezes into a tiny apartment with his eccentric roommate, Spike, barely scraping by selling obscure travel guides. Small talk with the neighbors is the most excitement he gets all day, but no one expected that his creaky wooden door would crack open a rift between two worlds. One afternoon, top Hollywood actress Anna, trying to dodge fans and the press, stumbled into William's bookstore by mistake. A simple trench coat outlined her hurried figure. She was drawn to the shop's human touch. William recognized her but played it cool, seeing her holding a book that wasn't very practical. He stepped in to help, recommending a much better read. As they chatted, a shoplifter barged in. William immediately confronted him, warning him about the security cameras to get the book back. Anna watched, impressed by his crisp handling of the situation. When she went to pay, she playfully teased him. At checkout, William even threw in 2 free gifts. He was only being that generous because the business was on its last leg, and he just wanted to clear stock before closing down. As he watched Anna leave, William could barely contain his excitement, sharing the surprise with his colleague. This brief encounter was like a stone cast into a lake, creating ripples in a life that had been frozen by heartbreak. But the strings of fate were already being quietly plucked. They bumped into each other again right around the corner. William recognized Anna immediately, and his heart skipped a beat. He rushed forward to apologize, and earnestly invited her to his home to clean the stains off her clothes. Anna quickly recognized him too. As the kind-hearted bookstore owner, she let down her guard and followed William to his place. As soon as they entered, William frantically tidied up the house, only inviting her in once it was somewhat presentable. He told Anna the bathroom was upstairs, where she could change out of her soiled clothes. While Anna was upstairs, he turned to clear the clutter off the dining table. When Anna had changed into clean clothes and slowly walked down the stairs, William's gaze froze, instantly captivated by her simple, refreshing style. He started babbling incoherently. William desperately searched for a topic, just wanting to bridge the distance between them, but their vastly different worlds stood like an invisible wall between them. Yet his undisguised sincerity still quietly touched Anna's heart. Even so, Anna politely declined his hospitality and turned to leave. In that moment, William could hardly suppress the surge of emotion in his heart. After seeing Anna off, William felt a wave of disappointment, regretting he hadn't dared to ask for her number. But just as he turned to go back inside, the doorbell suddenly rang. He opened it to find Anna standing there. It turned out she'd left her books behind. William quickly handed them over. This time, Anna didn't rush away. She stood there, locking eyes with William for a few seconds, then couldn't help but kiss him. Even as their lips slowly parted, William was still lost in the magic of the moment. But what Anna said next left him lost in deep thought. Then, she turned and walked away, leaving William standing there, completely bewildered. He never could have predicted that this sudden, intimate encounter would rewrite the course of his entire life. As night quietly fell, his roommate excitedly shared with William a new movie he had just started watching. But when he glimpsed that familiar face on the screen, he was rudely awakened from his trance. He was just an ordinary bookstore owner, after all, separated from her by worlds of distance. There was no way it could ever work between them. That flicker of hope he had just felt had to be buried deep in his heart, becoming a secret known only to him. But fate always has a plot twist in store. One day, William asked his roommate as usual if there were any messages on the landline, only to discover, quite by accident, that a few days earlier, a girl named Anna had called the house. The news sent a jolt through William's heart. He frantically dug up the call log and dialed Anna back immediately. Even though she had waited 3 whole days to hear back from him, Anna didn't sound the least bit upset. Instead, she invited him to meet her at her hotel. After hanging up the phone, William stood there, receiver in hand, his heart filled with disbelief. He truly hadn't expected that Anna would actually reach out to him again. For the date, William specially bought a bouquet of flowers. When he rushed to the Ritz at the appointed time, just as Anna had requested, he was a mix of excitement and nerve. In his mind, he had rehearsed what to say countless times over, but as he made his way there, he noticed something odd. A man was trailing him at a discreet distance until he walked into the designated room, and the scene before him stopped him dead in his tracks. The room was packed with reporters and staff. William suddenly realized that the intimate reunion he'd been longing for was actually just Anna's press junket for her new movie. Before he could even process it, a staff member asked who he was with. William didn't know what to say. Caught off guard, he glanced at a magazine on a nearby table. While he waited, a guy sitting nearby got curious about the flowers in his hand. He asked who the bouquet was for. To avoid causing Anna any trouble, William quickly covered for her, saying they were for his grandma in a nearby hospital. Soon, it was William's turn for the interview. Guided by the staff, he walked into Anna's suite, finally face to face with the woman he missed. He hurriedly handed her the flowers, but there was no room for a private moment. Anna's publicist was standing right there. To hide their history, William had to play the role of a reporter and ask Anna formal questions. Seeing nothing unusual in their exchange, the publicist finally left the room. William seized the opportunity immediately and tentatively asked if she was free that night, but he never expected that Anna had only invited him there specifically to apologize. Her words left William stunned. His anticipation instantly turned to disappointment. It was a sobering wake-up call. He realized he had been foolishly fantasizing about dating a superstar. Anna saw how crestfallen he looked and was about to explain, but under the publicist's repeated urging, they had to end this brief, yet seemingly endless conversation. William walked out, feeling dejected. Just as he was about to leave, a staff member stopped him. He asked if William could interview the rest of the cast, too. William was extremely reluctant, but seeing the desperate look in their eyes, he forced himself to play along and keep interviewing. He went on to interview the rest of the cast. After finally suffering through the interviews, a defeated William was just about to leave when the publicist stopped him to ask if he had a moment. His lips started to say no, but his feet followed her anyway. When the door slowly swung open, standing there was Anna, the woman he couldn't stop thinking about. Anna smiled and made him an offer. William was thrilled by the unexpected invitation, but then remembered tonight was his sister's birthday. His family had long since arranged to celebrate with her. Just as William started to feel disappointed, Anna suggested she could join him as his date for the party. William was absolutely ecstatic. That evening, Anna arrived with William to celebrate his sister's birthday. At the sight of Anna, everyone was too stunned to speak. They welcomed Anna with open arms, except for William's brother, who tried to make things difficult. His brother was instantly silent. He simply couldn't believe that his brother, whom he'd always looked down on, had actually brought a superstar home. Anna was well accustomed to scenes like this, so she didn't take the little incident to heart. Despite Anna's celebrity status, the family didn't act stiff or awkward. Instead, they treated her like one of their own. Around the table, they chatted about everyday life and shared a delicious meal. This scene, so ordinary yet so warm, gave Anna a sense of comfort and belonging she'd never felt before. With smiles on their faces, they made light of their most painful memories, sounding completely at peace with them. But when they touched on William's career struggles and his failed marriage, the room suddenly went quiet. Seeing William freeze up in discomfort, Anna spoke up and started sharing her own story. She confessed that her acting career hadn't been all smooth sailing. She admits that life before 19 was incredibly tough. At her worst, she couldn't even get enough to eat. To completely rewrite her destiny, she gritted her teeth and underwent 2 surgeries. Afterward, her career truly skyrocketed. But time is unforgiving, and she knows that eventually, she'll only be cast as sad, middle-aged women. Her love life has been just as rocky. One boyfriend even physically abused her. Everyone is shocked to hear this. They never imagined that this radiant superstar hid so many painful memories behind the scenes. As dinner comes to an end, Anna reluctantly says her goodbyes. They take a walk together under the moonlight. Before they know it, they wander to a spot William often visited to play as a child, but since the night is late, the park gates are already locked tight. Perhaps inspired by Anna's words, William suddenly gets the urge to climb the fence, but he tries twice and fails miserably. Embarrassed to be losing face in front of Anna, William blushes crimson and starts stammering incoherently. Anna simply gives a faint smile, then walks right up to the fence to climb it. William is instantly struck speechless by the scene before him. The usually glamorous superstar scales the fence with ease. Seeing Anna has made it over, William braces himself to try again. Fortunately, he manages to scramble over safely. In the hazy moonlight, the feelings between them suddenly heat up. Anna gazes at William and kisses him deeply once again. If the first time was an unthinking impulse, then this time, it is clearly a genuine outpouring of emotion. Just like that, they fall deeply in love. From that day on, they start dating frequently. They go to movies, share romantic dinners, and stroll side by side through the London night. These days of constant companionship allowed Anna to slowly shed the heavy weight of her stardom and rediscover her true self. One day, while they were having a meal, they suddenly overheard some men loudly discussing Anna. One of them was even shamelessly bragging, claiming that he'd had a fling with her. Hearing these filthy remarks, William couldn't suppress his anger any longer, but the men showed no sign of stopping. Instead, they mocked William for sticking his nose in. Sensing trouble, Anna quickly stepped in to pull William aside, but those piercing, mocking words had stuck in his heart like needles. He simply couldn't swallow the insult, so he turned and marched right back up to them. After having her say, Anna turned and left with grace, leaving leaving the men standing there, stunned. Although William hadn't been able to offer much practical help, his courage in standing up for her had already become a warmth that quietly seeped into Anna's heart. Before they knew it, they had arrived downstairs at Anna's hotel. William was just getting ready to say goodbye when Anna suddenly invited him up for a bit. At Anna's insistence, William didn't refuse. They agreed to go up 5 minutes apart to give her a moment to tidy up the room. Watching Anna's figure slowly walk away, William's heart was already glowing with warmth, but when he excitedly knocked on the door, he found Anna looking unusually panicked. The next second, a strange man suddenly burst into view. William froze on the spot, but to save Anna's dignity, William lied, claiming to be a hotel waiter. Unexpectedly, the man just casually ordered him to take out the room's trash, then turned to hold Anna tight, as if no one else existed. The scene was like a sharp knife to William's heart, instantly dragging him from his dream back to reality. He finally saw clearly that an insurmountable world stood between them. In the end, he silently left that suffocating place. He wandered the streets in a daze, streetlights stretching his lonely shadow thin against the pavement. He was wrapped in a melancholy that just wouldn't fade, a sight that would break anyone's heart. Ever since that night, William had quietly closed off his heart, retreating into his shell to lick his wound. His friends and family watched him with growing worry, so they busied themselves trying to set him up with someone new. But deep down he knew he wasn't ready to give his heart to anyone else. Meanwhile, scandalous rumors involving Anna were spreading like wildfire. Her relationship with that other man was being splashed across the media. Faced with all this news, William just offered a bitter smile. He had already decided to let go of the past and try to move on with his life. But just when he thought it was over, Anna suddenly showed up at his doorstep. With tears in her eyes, she explained that the press hadn't just exposed her relationship, they'd dug up compromising photos from her past. Now, with reporters hounding her every move, she had nowhere else to turn for shelter but him. Seeing Anna standing there in tears, William's heart instantly softened. He agreed to give her a place to hide. Once Anna had calmed down a little, she offered William a sincere apology. She explained that things with her ex were long over. She'd been waiting for the right moment to end it, but she never expected he would just show up out of the blue that night, leading to such a painful misunderstanding. Hearing her explanation, the weight on William's chest began to lift. In the days that followed, they lost themselves in each other's company. There was a gentle warmth in the air as they spent lazy afternoons curled up on the sofa or stepped out onto the terrace to help Anna rehearse lines for her next film. Through all these quiet moments, their feelings for each other deepened, and they shared an unforgettable night together. But perfect moments are always fleeting. An urgent ringing at the door, suddenly shattering the room's silence. William grabbed the nearest shirt. He rushed to open the door, but the moment he cracked it open, a swarm of paparazzi flooded the view. Cameras and microphones were shoved in his face, giving him a terrible shock. His instinct was to slam the door shut, but Anna sensed something was wrong and came over to check. Before William could stop her, she stepped past him, and the smile on her face instantly froze. Anna was horrified by the scene. She immediately called her agent for help. It turned out later that William's roommate had sold them out for money. Overcome by anger and humiliation, she couldn't help but lash out at William. William tried to calm her down, insisting it wasn't the end of the world, but what he didn't realize was that he and Anna lived in different worlds. For Anna, any minor scandal could become a permanent stain. Even if today's headlines are tomorrow's trash, having her past dredged up again only caused her fresh pain. Finally, under her agent's escort, Anna left through the crushing crowd. Inside, William felt utterly helpless. The romance that had just begun was ruthlessly extinguished by reality. Time flew by. A year was enough to change everything. His friend's restaurant was struggling and facing imminent closure. Another friend had lost his job, but remained optimistic. While his sister announced her engagement, William had settled into a new routine. Business was still slow, but enough to make a living. One day, his sister somehow got hold of Anna's agent's number. She shoved it into William's hand. William took it with a forced smile, but after she left, he fell into deep thought. He didn't want to hold back Anna's career, and he was terrified of repeating the past, enduring the agony of separation and heartbreak all over again. That very night, his cousin told William that Anna was back in Notting Hill filming. Knowing William still hadn't let her go, he encouraged him to be brave for love one more time. William stared at the words written about Anna, and after a moment of silence, he made up his mind. The next day, William rushed to Anna's film set, but as soon as he arrived at the entrance, he was stopped by the security staff. Luckily, Anna spotted him and came over to greet him, but before they could say much, Anna was called back to the set to continue filming. The crew let William wait inside, handing him a pair of headphones to listen in, but what he heard through them was piercing. Her words were a cold wake-up call, making him finally realize that his feelings might just be wishful thinking. To Anna, he was already just an insignificant part of her past. Dejected, he left the set. Unexpectedly, the very next day, Anna showed up at William's bookstore. She explained that her dismissive words yesterday were just to prevent industry gossip from spreading. She told William it was her last day of filming and she would be leaving soon. She had even brought him a farewell gift. Finally, she mustered the courage to ask him if she chose to stay, would he be willing to give them another chance to see if they could rekindle what they had? William, however, frankly declined. Tears welled up in Anna's eyes. She completely understood William's choice and respected his decision. She gave him a final parting kiss, bringing their relationship to a close before turning and walking away. After Anna left, William couldn't find any peace of mind, so he gathered his whole family together, hoping to get their advice. His friends knew he was still in love with Anna, but didn't want to see him get hurt again, so they all claimed he did the right thing. Even his wacky roommate showed up in a hurry, but as soon as he spoke, everyone stared at him wide-eyed. In that instant, William realized his mistake and was filled with regret, so they all piled into one car and raced to the press conference. By the time William got there, the conference was winding down. A reporter was asking Anna a question. William calmly made his way through the crowd, stepping up to the front row. Just as Anna looked up, he posed as a reporter to ask a question. Before, the difference in their worlds made them cautious, and public pressure held them back. Their emotional struggles led to hesitation, but none of that could stand in their way. Just like in this moment, under the gaze of the whole world, they used the simplest word to declare their commitment to a life together. William and Anna finally found their way to each other. The film uses the humble charm of Notting Hill as a backdrop to strip away the glitzy veil of fame. Though Anna is a superstar in the spotlight, she seeks her true self in an ordinary life. William belongs to a small corner bookshop, yet his gentle understanding bridged the gap between their worlds. Public scrutiny, media pressure, and the tug-of-war of emotion all became tests of their true love. This film isn't just an unrealistic fantasy. Instead, it uses delicate daily details to show us that love can bridge any divide, heal past wounds, and find the most moving power in the ordinary.